Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Drake Eats.
Today we're doing one of our favorite Copycat recipes, Rasta Pasta.
We are Jonathan and Holly Drake and we love food, gathering around the table and sharing a good meal.
When we went gluten-free, we had to reinvent our favorite family recipes. We're here to show you gluten-free cooking can be simple and delicious.
Welcome to Drake Eats. All right, well, we are going to jump right into it. Rasta Pasta. So we're going to start with our pasta.
Already got our water boiling.
A couple episodes ago, we talked about gluten-free pasta. So if you haven't seen that episode, you can go back. It was our chicken spaghetti recipe. This is just going to be like a couple good handfuls of...
Put it up against your shirt. I've never noticed that before.
Well, it's just to help kind of get it...
Why don't you put it on the counter?
It's germy.
That's not germy?
I feel like my shirt's cleaner than the counter is.
Glad
if you agree
water.
with me, then comment below. So we're going to do 2 good handfuls, and depending on how big your family is, you can put more or less. And then, like we said last time, with gluten-free pasta, you got to put a little bit of olive oil in, or it will stick together.
This keeps it from like turning into one big clump.
And normal pasta, you want to put a little bit of salt in. Did you already do that?
Yes, no.
A little bit of salt in. And you can do that with this gluten-free pasta as well.
It needs it.
Veggie bowl.
I've got a half a cup of chopped red bell pepper, half a cup of chopped onion. You're spilling them.
Oh gosh.
What's happening? So we're just gonna get that going.
Make sure your arm is not completely over this lava pit right beside me when you're doing this. Okay?
So you're really just gonna let those cook down. Again, the tenderness is all about your preference. Also, I'm going to add, let me squeeze around you here. Again, this is just to your preference, Italian seasoning. So you're just gonna sprinkle that in.
Just a little flavor.
And then it calls for a clove of garlic mince, which, like I said, I buy the already jarred, minced up garlic. So that is a clove, it's about a half a teaspoon of this. And I always do a little extra because I like garlic.
Can never have too much garlic.
You never have too much garlic.
Now, Rasta Pasta, you guys may not know what that was from us doing this video. Rasta Pasta, this is actually a copycat recipe from a restaurant that you may have heard of called the Rainforest Cafe. We actually went to Rainforest Cafe shortly after we went gluten-free.
I think it was like a month after we went gluten-free.
And we were still in that like struggling to find good gluten-free recipes. At that time, I mean, it's amazing how far gluten-free has come in just a few years because even then there wasn't as many choices on the menu. And this is one of the ones that Holly found, fell in love with. So we came back, and she actually found a copycat recipe online, and she's tweaked it a little bit.
To make it gluten-free.
To make it gluten-free and kind of our own, preference that we like. But this is one of our favorite actual pasta dishes. The chicken spaghetti we did a few videos ago, that's more of a casserole type dish, but this is like a true pasta dish, but it is absolutely amazing.
Good.
I actually prefer this one over the restaurant, just saying. You
kind
of knocked it out of the park.
We went back like a year later.
And it just was not as good. I prefer this one.
I like this one.
All right, so now you're going to add
I just got a packet.
heaping portion of chicken breast.
It's a pound of chicken tenderloins.
Chicken tenderloins.
Chicken tenderloins. And another thing to remember if you're new to gluten-free, and everybody's sensitivity level is different. For us, I have to be very careful with the meat that we buy. I have to make sure that all of our meat is grass-fed, because if it's grain-fed, it bothers me. Something about that, I don't know what it is.
We've been to like a burger place before, and the beef for the burgers.
Even from the store.
Yeah.
Like I've had to be very
grain-fed instead of grass-fed.
So I buy grass-fed chicken, grass-fed beef, pork, all the things. So this is, if you're in the South, you know Publix. I love Publix Green Wise chicken. All right, so now once you've got your chicken tossed with your veggies, you just want to turn that down and let it just kind of simmer. You're just basically trying to cook your chicken. So I always
No, you're definitely wanting to cook your chicken. Don't leave it pink.
You are wanting to cook your chicken.
All the way through.
To me, the main component of this dish is the sauce. I make my own Alfredo sauce. a lot of your jar Alfredo sauces are not gluten-free, and I don't know, they don't taste as fresh. So I like to make my own. Now, reminder, we never said this show was going to be healthy.
No.
This Alfredo sauce has a full stick of butter. So you're gonna add, I've already got my pan heated up, so I'm gonna add my stick of butter here. All right, so once your butter is completely melted down, you're gonna add a cup of heavy whipping cream. You know, it's so good. It's yellow right now, but I promise you it'll turn white. It's just all that good butter. See?
I'm fine if it stays yellow.
It's turning white.
Oh, there it goes.
So again, you're just gonna keep this on medium heat. You're gonna whisk. I'm gonna go ahead. This recipe calls for a teaspoon of salt. So do my teaspoon of salt. And then you need a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. That gives your Alfredo a really nice garlicky kick. So you're just gonna keep whisking this pretty vigorously. This honestly requires you to kind of turn loose from the other pans because this is basically going to thicken as you whisk. So you don't want to walk away or it will burn and boil over. If you've ever worked with milk on the stove, milk products, you know it can go quickly. So just keep whisking.
We've actually had this overflow a couple times.
Yes, we have. Because
And
I've had to turn
it's
this.
like you remember in school when you do the volcanoes with
and it
that.
just, like, bubbles
it
up.
looks like that, but it kind of ruins your cooktop, and it takes a while to get it clean. So
How's the chicken?
keep an eye
looking?
out. Chicken's very close. Pasta's very close. So
Okay.
as soon as you get the sauce done, we'll be good to go.
All right, so once your chicken's nice and done, you're gonna just keep turn it down to low. And I've got about a 1/2 cup of chopped baby spinach. So you're just gonna throw that in and let that wilt down.
It looks like you may have a lot, but it almost completely dissolves.
It does, it wilts down. That's what I meant by wilt.
Oh, I was just
gets-
trying to reiterate that for people that didn't know what wilt meant.
I'm still whisking the sauce. Again, this is a little bit of a process, and there's really no, like, whisk it for 5 minutes, whisk it for 7 minutes. There's really no rhyme or reason. You just kind of have to watch it. I'm going to show you what kind of consistency you're looking for. Again, I have this on just medium heat. You don't need to turn it up because it'll boil, and then it won't necessarily thicken. Low and slow on the Alfredo.
Low and slow is what makes it good.
So basically what you're wanting it to get a little bit thicker. So you know how when you're first starting to whisk it, it's got all the bubbles. It's gonna stop having the bubbles because it's getting thicker, it's getting out all that air and extra water, and so it's starting to get a little more dense. So now it's time to add our 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. This is what makes it so cheesy and delicious. So we're just gonna whisk that in, get out all the lumps, and then the key to this sauce. So right now this is an Alfredo sauce, great, wonderful, but this dish is a pesto Alfredo sauce. So I just use jar pesto, find you one that's gluten-free, and I just take a good spoonful, about 1/4 cup, a little less, no, what was about 1/8 cup. And it's all, again, it's all to taste, depends on how much pesto. Jonathan could eat this whole jar of pesto.
I love pesto.
I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't want it to be so overpowering. So yeah, you just kind of stir that in, and you can see how thick it's getting.
All right, so now all of our spinach and everything has been wilted down. Chicken's cooked, onions and peppers look great. So you're just gonna take your sauce and just pour it right in the pan. All right, sauce and everything is ready. So now we literally just put the pasta back in the same bowl after you drain it, and then just get a nice spoonful of pasta. And
Ladle the sauce on top. So good. Y'all, this is such a simple recipe, but it packs so much flavor. It's delicious.
dissolve.
It does. It will. That's what I meant by
Well, hey guys, if you've ever been to Rainforest Cafe, I can promise you that this copycat recipe is going to blow you away. Thank you so much for joining us today.
As always, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Instagram, and we'll see you next week.
gonna eat some pasta.